G'day cruisers and welcome to Aussies on the Seas. I'm your host Nathan, and in this video, as promised, I'll be going through all of the COVID safe measures to this date that cruise companies will be using or putting into place to make sure that cruising can resume. With cruising restarting in Australia 2 years after the cruise ban, cruisers all over the country are absolutely excited to be back on board with their favourite cruise line. Although before we get too excited, there are a few things that have changed since the pre-COVID cruises. Phase 1. To start off with, all passengers must be fully vaccinated in order to board the ship. Now, fully vaccinated at this point, according to the government and the cruise lines, just means 2 doses of an approved, Australian government approved vaccine. So that means 2 doses of AstraZeneca, 2 doses of Moderna, 2 doses of Pfizer, 2 doses of Johnson & Johnson, or 2 doses of the Novavax. Now, before embarkation, you'll also be required to take a COVID test. From what we realise at the moment, this test will be administered in the actual port facility itself. This may change down the track to you being able to do a home rat test or to get a PCR test done a few days before your cruise. But at the moment, it looks increasingly likely that you will be required to be tested at the port itself. Once you get on board, you will be retested a few days into your cruise to make sure that you haven't developed COVID. Masks will be required by both the crew and by passengers. So unfortunately, this is a big bone of contention for most people in the country. You will be required to mask up. Unfortunately, you will be required to do this not only when boarding or leaving the ship, but you will also be required to mask up along required spaces such as corridors, elevators, in the theatre, and places where physical distancing will no longer be a possibility. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to hit that subscribe button and click the little notification bell. Not only will it help the channel, but it'll also help you keep up to date with the latest cruising news from Australia and around the world. Finally, there's the buffets, and who doesn't enjoy a good buffet meal? It's one of my favourite parts of the ship. Anyway, gone are the days that you're actually able to serve yourself with the tongs. There'll be a crew member there to serve for you. Okay. And you will get all your food via the food stations provided. Yum. Anyway, these crew members will be wearing masks and gloves to serve you at each of the buffet stations. So I guess it's not going to be that much of a change, except instead of operating the tongs, somebody else will be operating them for you. Which, the end result is still pretty good food. Cheers. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is what is being communicated by the cruise lines and by the government at the moment. This is all subject to change, but this is what the 3 things that we know will happen. That's all we've got for you today in this video. However, if you like it, give it a thumbs up and a subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time somewhere on the seas.